Welcome to the County Manager's Report. I'm Lloyd Higuera, and with me is Douglas County Manager Steve Mokrohiski. And welcome, Steve.
Thanks, Lloyd. Great to be here.
Okay, great to have you here, and we're going to talk about the August 16th meeting of the Douglas County Board of Commissioners.
I can't wait.
Yep, I know you're raring to go. Let's go. Okay, come on.
All right.
Let's get the preamble out of the way, right?
Yes. We got a lot to talk about.
Well, we do. And commissioners at their meeting on August 16th, which was up at Lake Tahoe, heard a presentation. This was a review of the NNDA's, that's Northern Nevada Development Authority's, regional plan. And what's going on with their regional plan?
Well, in the last legislative session, there was Assembly Bill 449 that was approved in the legislature and by the governor, which put certain provisions in place for how economic development will be done throughout the state of Nevada. The Governor's Office of Economic Development, GOED as we call it, was formed as sort of the state agency that oversees economic development functions. There was $10 million that was put into a pot of into a fund called a Catalyst Fund that will be used to recruit and create incentives for businesses to relocate to Nevada. And then there was a process that requires regional plans, regional economic development plans within the various areas from any individual city or county or region that wants to be an economic development agency in the state. And so the Northern Nevada Development Authority has for a long time been the agency that represents Douglas County, Carson City, and Lyon County. At one time represented Story County, but Story has sort of gone with the Washoe group. And Churchill County is now working with our region. So we have Douglas, Carson's, Lyon, and Churchill. They're all working together on a regional basis, and NNDA is the agency that represents us on economic development, works with our existing businesses on expansion, and particularly looks to recruit businesses from out of the area to relocate to our region. And for us in Douglas County is our primary hope. I will tell you, I really like the model of economic development, how it's provided in Northern Nevada here. As opposed to a lot of communities, they sort of do economic development individually.
Right.
And the fact is, economic development crosses the boundary of county lines. And so I think it's great that we have really a partnership with our regional cities and counties to recruit businesses. Obviously, we want jobs in Douglas County, but we also recognize that having a business relocate from California or any other area outside of Nevada to Carson City is better than not having that business relocate to anywhere in Northern Nevada. So we recognize the benefit to the region to pursue economic development in that collaborative way. So that's sort of the model and the structure for how we're doing that function of economic development in Douglas County and Northern Nevada. And this regional plan has been an effort as part of AB 449, the state law that required the agencies to submit these plans to say, what is the work that you're going to do? What are your focus, your areas going to be? What are your target areas? And so it's a 60-page document, rather lengthy, but it's got some really good information, and we'll provide it to anybody who's interested. And it really has 5 strategic goals, sort of overarching strategic goals. It's created to have a consistent and cohesive operating system, so we know how the 4 counties are working together and who's doing what. It has target sectors, and the target sectors for Douglas County are primarily in the areas of manufacturing, agriculture, healthcare, and technology. So that's what we're really focusing on in terms of creating additional economic development. It looks at global engagement, so where are there different industries and businesses that may be located in other parts of the world, particularly in the manufacturing industry, where a lot of manufacturing companies moved overseas to China, India, in some cases to Brazil, South Africa, and Southeast Asia. And many of them have experienced challenges in those places with the qualified labor pool and ability to have consistent quality products that are produced. So they're looking to come back to the U.S. And so that's an area that we want to have a focus on, is talking to those businesses that relocated overseas and have had problems and seeing, how can we get them back here. Looking at core and emerging industries and markets. Healthcare, bioscience, technology is a particular focus area. And then what we hear from many of our local businesses and in the region, two of the biggest challenges we face are education and workforce development. Douglas County has the best public education system in the state of Nevada, but the state struggles with education as a whole, and higher education is also a challenge. We have Western Nevada College here, and UNR is in Reno, so we need to work on enhancing opportunities for core education, higher education, and development of quality workforce. So that's what this plan really calls out, are all those strategies and then how we'll work together. Once it's finalized, it'll be submitted to the Governor's Office of Economic Development in the next few months. And we'll talk in a minute then about the Catalyst funds and the process for that. So we're excited about the effort working with NNDA. I think they're continuing to improve upon their processes and communication with the local counties and how they're representing us. And we keep seeing businesses relocate here. There was just a new business that we were notified of this week that's relocating, and a number of others in the pipeline.
Well, that's what I enjoy about NNDA's visits to the commission. You find out about these new businesses that have located here in Douglas County and the region. As you point out, if they locate in Carson City, there's a good chance they could come down here and purchase things. They could live down here and work at. Yeah. So I mean,
why would you want to live anywhere else?
Right.
Other
Exactly.
Than Douglas County?
Exactly. But also, I love the teases. You know how they say there is a company talking to us right now. They'll hire 50 people and there'll be high-paying jobs and all that. So not everything does come to fruition, but they are out there working all the time, aren't they?
They are, and this is the challenge with economic development: is there are elements of confidentiality where businesses that are looking to relocate may be looking at various communities, and they don't want to disclose too much, and they don't want information public because it puts pressure on their decision process. So they require, in a lot of cases, their non-disclosure forms that NNDA and others have to sign if they're involved in those discussions. So it is one of the challenges when we talk about communicating business relocation and job enhancement, that we can't always point to here's what we're doing or here's the business we're talking to because of those confidentiality issues. There also, a lot of times, is a lot of effort put into recruiting and relocating businesses, and sometimes it doesn't always come to fruition. So that's a struggle to those of us who sort of want action now, and we want results, and we want to know how many jobs do we have in the last 6 months and how many businesses have relocated. And it just, frankly, doesn't work that easily. And then issues like education, workforce development that, boy, we don't control those as the county solely, or even as the region. A lot of the funding comes from the state and from private entities. So it's a very complex and challenging issue, but I'm really pleased with the structure, as I said, of how economic development is set up with NNDA and on a regional basis. I would not advocate for Douglas County to take over economic development as a function, as a government function solely, and not partner on a regional basis, because I think we still have too much to gain by doing it in partnership with our regional cities and counties.
I just remember NNDA told us for so long, a really big one is coming, and then Starbucks arrived.
There you go. Yeah, and we've got some great ones here in Douglas County, and that's the other piece of this, is we're not just looking to relocate businesses from California and out of the area. That's one component of it, but we also want to help our existing businesses be successful in whatever way we can assist in that regard and help them expand. And we've seen this in businesses. GE has seen increased growth over the past 3 years, 18% over the past 2 years, and 11% this year. 11% this year. So that's a great trend. They're increasing jobs and hiring. North Sales saw a significant expansion. CVI has made tens of millions of dollars of investments. So that's really where the stabilization and growth of the economy is going to come. It's great to relocate new businesses and bring them in, but we also have to find any way possible to support our existing businesses and help them expand. And one way, just quickly, that we're identifying to try and do that is the extent to which we can connect existing businesses in our community that have products they can sell each other. So we have GE Energy is located, a division of GE Energy is located in Douglas County, and they purchase certain devices and products that one of our other local businesses manufactures here. But GE is currently purchasing that from an out-of-area company. So what we're trying to do is open up discussions between those two local businesses. And don't you want to do business with
Sure.
your neighbor down the street
That's a
rather than someone
win-win.
out of state or overseas?
I mean, somebody you can go down and talk to about the project or whatever.
Exactly. You get a hiccup with an issue, or you want to adjust,
Right.
your product line or whatever that may be. So those are the kind of things that we're starting to, look at this a little bit differently. That again, recruitment is great of new businesses, and we'll continue to do that. But that's not the silver bullet that's going to fix all of our challenges. It really is, again, connecting resources that exist here today.
Yeah. You mentioned catalyst funds. That was our next topic here. Commissioners did approve the criteria for catalyst fund applications. Give us some more detail on catalyst funds.
So this is again connected with Assembly Bill 449 and the new economic development model in the state of Nevada. And there was the governor and the legislature appropriated $10 million statewide. So it really is not a lot of money when you look at the competition from the southern part of the state and from the northern part of the state, $10 million. But nonetheless, it's $10 million more than we had in
Sure.
the past to incentivize business relocation. And so what this item was in front of the board was to adopt the process that we've developed to submit the request for funds from the state to reimburse these businesses that relocate. So let's say you have a business that comes in and they want to create 20 jobs. They have to meet certain criteria, so they have to demonstrate they're going to pay 120% of the average wage in the state of Nevada for each job. They have to demonstrate they're going to pay at least 50% of the health insurance costs for their employees, and a number of other areas. So they demonstrate those things, and we go through this process, complete an application and submit it to the governor, and then seek reimbursement to that business, largely for things like relocation expenses. That's what we hear from these businesses is, we have a low tax environment in Nevada, and and we also have a regulatory environment that is more favorable to business than it is in California and in some other places. But there's still a cost to a business to pick up from where they're at and relocate to a new place.
Sure.
And we just don't provide the type of incentives in general that many other states do. You hear about Texas and other states that multi-million-dollar incentives or tax rebates that are given to those businesses to relocate. We don't have the ability to do that, in part because we don't have a tax structure that allows for that type of rebate. But this allows us to, particularly for smaller businesses where relocation expenses may be a challenge, allows us to help those businesses get over that hurdle. So that's what this is. It was the process for that, and we actually have one business, Life Enhancement Products, that recently relocated to Douglas County, I believe about 20 jobs, relocated from California, and they are a manufacturer of nutritional products, vitamin supplements, and so we're submitting an application for reimbursement of catalyst funds for some of their costs. So this gives us another tool in the toolbox to recruit businesses from out of the area.
But as you say, with everybody applying for those funds, that $10 million could go pretty quickly.
Right, particularly when you look at Las Vegas and
Right.
Reno and the populated areas.
The competition.
Where in Reno that we heard about Apple
Sure.
going into the Reno Sparks area, and $85 million in subsidies that was given to Apple to relocate. So it's a great business and a great expansion there. And look, that's going to benefit Northern Nevada and the state of Nevada as a whole, and Douglas County, because again, the Apple folks, the Apple executives and other
Sure.
folks who work for them, we want to recruit them to buy homes in Douglas County.
They'll all be in Douglas County.
Yeah, why would you want to live anywhere else?
Exactly. Well, let's move on here. August 16th meeting, there was a presentation by the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources on the Bi-State Regional Plan update. And how is that going?
It's been a challenge. This is part of the Tahoe Regional Planning Agency's regional plan update. And so for those at the lake, residents and others at the lake who are familiar with this process, we've got a regional plan in the Tahoe Basin that is over 20 years that we've had the same regional plan in place, and a long time been a push to get that updated and redone and allow for redevelopment of the built environment. There are many of us that believe that in order to protect the lake, to enhance the clarity and the quality of the lake, and enhance the natural environment at Lake Tahoe, we have to allow for redevelopment of the built environment. The status quo is actually making the environment worse.
Sure.
So that's what a lot of this is built around. Joanne Marquetta, the executive director of TRPA, and her staff, in my opinion, have done and continue to do an outstanding job of driving the process forward from the staff perspective. But of course, there's a governing board, a bi-state governing board, that ultimately decides the regional plan and the components of that. So this has been several years in the making, and I'd say particularly over the past year, a significant push. And part of that was Senate Bill 271 in the Nevada legislature, signed by the governor, that put some pressure on TRPA and the governing board to get the regional plan updated. So we have a lot of progress because that has been done. There's a regional plan committee that was formed and work that was accomplished, but there were some dissenting opinions from that effort. And so what happened was the two states, the secretaries of natural resources in California and in Nevada, got together and said, we need to bring a work group together of the various interests and try and work out these dissenting opinions, because we don't want to risk a lawsuit and challenges on this. Let's see if we can work this out collaboratively. So Leo Drozdoff, the Director of Natural Resources for Governor Sandoval in Nevada, and John Laird, the Secretary of Natural Resources in California, brought this group together, stakeholders from California and Nevada. I represented local government agencies in Nevada. Claire Fortier, the mayor of South Lake Tahoe, represented local governments in California in the basin. And then we had environmental advocates and business advocates and TRPA staff that participated. So you can imagine the dynamic in the room. You get environmentalists and business folks and local government and other regulatory agencies and state agencies. And it was a recipe for not a lot of progress, frankly, if you looked at it on paper.
Divergent points of view, for sure.
There's no question. And so I think we all came to the table with some blind trust in the secretaries of natural resources from the respective states. And they earned our trust through that process. They really facilitated a collaborative discussion. We made a lot of progress, and ultimately I think we've been able to come to a compromise, and we all gave up something. They say when you walk out of the room and nobody's happy, you have some progress. And that's sort of how it was. Everyone gave up something, but it's still a step in the right direction. So we're excited about where that's at and moving forward with the regional plan. We are hopeful and anticipate that later this year in December, the TRPA governing board will take up the approval of the regional plan, and we look forward to that. And two major steps forward from our standpoint: delegation to local agencies like Douglas County to provide permitting for smaller projects, residents who want to add decks or driveways or smaller things like that. Those will now have the option to come to the local agencies and not have to go through TRPA. So our residents really like that. They'd rather deal with us than with that agency. And then stormwater management and total maximum daily load, we got some issues worked out there. So moving forward on that issue.
Okay, well, I hope it can stay on track and finally be updated by the end of the year. That'd be a great accomplishment.
It is progress, and it takes time, but we'll hopefully get there.
Well, Commissioners also heard a staff presentation. This was from Carson City Health and Human Services and Douglas County Social Services on contracted community health activities in Douglas County. So this is something new, kind of putting the work out there to another entity. So how's that all going?
It's going very well, and this is an example of a number of regional partnerships that we've initiated with Carson City and with other counties in the area. We've talked about Geographic Information Services, a technology that we provide for the four-county area. We talked about road maintenance that Carson City provides for us now. And health services is another area that we contracted with Carson City. For 30 years, Douglas County contracted with the state of Nevada to provide health nurse services. And we really had a lot of challenges for many years with that on accountability and quality of service. We redid that model. We worked with Carson City Karen Good, our social service supervisor, and Marina Works, the director of health services in Carson City, have put together a great arrangement. Carson City just does a phenomenal job in this area, and they have provided us with far superior service than we had previously. So we have expanded nursing coverage, outreach to the south end of the county, enhanced collaboration and flexibility with our residents, better responsiveness, being more proactive and timely to the needs of our local residents. These are all benefits that we've seen. So enhanced quality of service, but we've also seen a savings of over $120,000 this year alone. So it just, I love these examples where we can actually enhance the quality of the service we provide, and we can lower the cost to taxpayers by doing it. We'll continue to seek opportunities for that, both with other public agencies and with the private sector where appropriate.
Okay, very good. Commissioners approved a request from the Tahoe Douglas District. That was a request to permit the district to provide water and drainage services within their service area. What do they provide now?
They provide sewer.
Sewer right now.
Sewer services, yes.
So they want to add water.
They want to add water and drainage, and the Tahoe Douglas District was created in 1969, and that was its purpose, was to provide sewer services within that district at Lake Tahoe. We now have had discussions within the county. We have 4 water systems at Lake Tahoe, and they're aging systems. We have staff that do the operation and maintenance for it now, but there are other agencies at Lake Tahoe: Kingsbury Governmental Improvement District, Round Hill Governmental Improvement District, and the Tahoe Douglas District, all that provide water, sewer type services. Our feeling is we could probably achieve some economies of scale by working with one of those entities to reduce the cost and enhance the service. So kind of another example of a regional partnership. So KGID and Round Hill would be able to bid on this proposal that we have put out. We put in a request for proposals on the street. Tahoe Douglas District doesn't have the authority to provide water service. So they came forward to us and said, we want to bid, we want to be included at least in the opportunity to provide this service, have you evaluate our ability to do it, but we need you to authorize us to do that. So that's what this action was to grant Tahoe Douglas District. The board hasn't done it yet. They directed staff to put together the language to authorize the district to provide that service. What they also did was give a 3-year window to do it, so that there'd be a sunset after 3 years. Tahoe Douglas District gets the contract from the county, then the board would likely extend that time period. If they don't get it, then the period would sunset after 3 years. So we think it's kind of a good sweet spot to hit, to allow them to bid on the project, but not open-ended, provide the ability to do water and sewer.
Okay, very good. Commissioners approved spending $82,270 for a contract. This is to assess the county's technical services, and that contract was with Next Level Information Technology. So assess county technology services. What would that include?
So this is, this is, again, we did a request for proposals on this. We had 8 companies that bid on it, did an evaluation, and we selected Next Level. But we're doing this, as you said, to evaluate our technology services that we provide within the county. Technology is a constantly evolving area, and we need to continually adjust to new technologies, as well as how well are we utilizing the existing technology that we have today. So that's really what this is about. Is we wanted a third-party professional consultant to come in who's done these. This company has done 40-some assessments for cities and counties around the country, and identify what we're doing well and where we can improve, because we've used technology to create so many efficiencies, cost savings, eliminate duplication, redundancy in the county and regionally. We want to continue to build upon that. So this is really the effort to continue the progress we've made in investment in technology, make sure we're utilizing it appropriately.
Okay, very good. And how long will that assessment take?
We think it'll take about 3 months
Okay.
For them to do. They're going to come in, they have a project manager who will come in and work with all of our staff, elected officials, directors, departments, and as well as our regional partners. And Carson City has jumped on board with this, and we're talking about how can we potentially provide additional technology services on a regional basis. So We're hopeful by the end of this year, this calendar year, that we'll have an idea of some additional items that we can pursue.
So we'll be hearing more about this one for sure.
Yeah, we'll update you later.
Okay, Commissioners approved a request from the East Fork Fire and Paramedic District. This was to seek proposals for a health insurance plan separate and apart from Douglas County. And what was the purpose for that?
It really is to look at brokerage services. So they're not looking at changing the benefits for East Fork employees, but more so to look at can they identify a brokerage service that could come in and package a health care plan that would ultimately reduce the cost to the East Fork Fire District and its employees. And so we think it's reasonable to allow the East Fork District to do that. And then the county is going to actively monitor this and see what the impact is, for better or worse. And we may have the ability then, if it would have a benefit to county employees and to our taxpayers, to jump on board with that as well.
Okay. We pretty much covered the August 16th meeting, and I wonder if we could do a preview. I know it's kind of early, but maybe just a overview of what's coming up at the September 6th meeting of the Commissioners.
Sure. Yeah, I have a couple items. We haven't set the agenda as of this taping, but we have the airport contracts. If you saw the story in the paper recently, we're really excited about the $1.3+ million that we received from the Federal Aviation Administration this year in 2012 for pavement maintenance at the airport. And this is what we said all along with the airport ordinance, that if we can get back in compliance, we'll get the funds we need to maintain the pavement, not expand the airport, but just maintain what we have. So the award of the construction contracts will be on the September 6th agenda. And then we also have are anticipating the award of the construction contracts for the Genoa Trail. This is the trail that's going to be the paved trail that'll go from Wally's to into the town of Genoa. So we're looking forward to awarding that contract. Construction to begin after Candy Dance this year, and then it should be open by spring, summer of 2013.
Great. Okay. We do have a minute or so left here, and it might be an opportunity to talk about the county's website, some new exciting things on the website.
We keep talking about the website, and and I think that's good. We talked about technology assessment, and we continue to identify ways in which we can use our website and other technologies to enhance the information and services we provide. And so our website allows for that, and we're also moving in the direction of providing information through social media outlets. And so we have these tapings, the county manager reports, 30-minute overview of the board meetings, and maybe a couple other items that we talk about a couple times a month that we've uploaded to YouTube. So now you can watch this on your, if you have cable access. You can also go onto Douglas County's website.
And watch it on demand.
Watch it right there on demand. You can see the latest one. You go to www.douglascountynv.gov, and on the left-hand side of the screen, there's a link that'll say County Profile, News, and Videos. Click on that. It'll take you to a page that has this video, and you can just click on it. You stay in the page, and it'll show you the video that it's actually embedded in the screen. And you can watch that. You can get information on our community profile, our media kit, our budget and brief information about the budget, our newsletters, our news releases. So it's a good one-stop shop for brief overview of everything going on in Douglas County, and encourage people to visit that, and look forward to bringing more videos and information to our residents and anyone else who's interested.
Great.
And thanks to you, Lloyd. Thank you for your efforts. You've really put in a lot of time to getting these onto YouTube. And
yeah, I really strained my brain on this one.
You learn something every day.
I did learn something.
It's a good skill.
A thing or two. Yeah. Well, Steve, I want to thank you for being here. And do check out the county's website. It's got an awful lot of information on it, douglascountynv.gov. That's going to wrap up the County Manager's Report. I want to thank our County Manager, Steve Mokrohysky. I'm Lloyd Higuera, and we'll see you next time on the Douglas County Manager's Report.